Oh, I know. I love Bestest Friends. Bestest Friend. Because I love when Zim and Keith have that montage and the music's like... do-do-do-do-do. This is so cool. I just like that one. Who among you is prepared to be Zim's best friend?
I like it when Ice King fights Finn and Jake.
That's not Zim. Arso.
Oh,
yeah. And fried pickles.
Yes. I like backseat drivers from Beyond the Stars and waffles and gas taster report because the guy gets stolen by a hobo.
I really like Tack the Hideous New Girl because I'll tell you why, because there's nothing I love more than obliviousness in characters. So Tack goes on this barrage and berating of Zim about how she will never like me and I'm only here to destroy it, and Zim's like, yes, I know you love me, and you know. And then in Angry Beavers, there's this episode called there's this episode of My Bunny Guard, when the big bunny comes to is like threatening to kill them. It turns out he wants to be their bunny guard. And Daggett always just kind of took on the same character as the guests on the show. So by the end of the show, Daggett was talking like, "Why'd you do it, Bunny? Why'd you do it?" And the bunny goes, and we said, we would have been your friends. And the bunny goes, "You're just saying that because you don't want me to be unhappy." And then Daggett goes, "Yeah, so." That's just, I love those moments. They're so random. I love random.
Like when I'm making a poop in your car.
I randomly poop in my car, sure. Sure. Who wants a ride? Hands went up. It's as if I am the most amazing fecal sculptor in the history.
He doesn't poop, he sculpts.
I sculpt! Not now, I'm sculpting! Richard, are you almost done in that bathroom? Not now, I'm sculpting!
And push the pottery wheel under the stall.
My business is done! I'm sculpting. Would you disturb Michelangelo?
I need a kiln.
Quickly, before it dries itself! It's going to crack!
I bring the glaze.
Never mind, I'll make it myself! I'm an artist! Rikki. It's Ricky's fault. You see all the parents, "Oh, I didn't realize they were like this. I mean, my kid is only 10, he loves your show, but you're talking about fecal matter. It's very... Yes?
This question is for Rikki. Do you ever feel really flattered when you see people dressed like her just everywhere?
Do I ever do what?
Do you ever get really flattered when you see people dressed like her, like walking down the
Do you ever
road?
get flatulent when you see
It sounds like you're saying, do you ever lose bladder? You see people dressed as her. Yes!
How did we go down this path? I'm like, how old are you? I know I'm flattered.
Oh, flattered.
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 Yes. It's more of like a, look at that.
Which is how you respond to flatteredness.
Yeah, like somebody like you goes, they like you, you go,
Yeah. It's like when I got married, they said, "Will you have this?" I went, sure. All right.
now kiss the bride.
I know y'all have been asked this a lot.
Where'd the last pig go?
We slaughtered it.
Aw.
Held it underwater.
Oh.
with my tiny robot fists.
I slaughtered a pig, which was trying to slaughter me. Oh, if I'd only seen
That the pig was me.
gentle moments.
Okay, so there were a lot of
Okay, so this conversation has been going on for an hour. Okay, so
okay, so there were a lot of interesting lines in the show. What were there any lines that you just had to do over and over? Because like, I can imagine I would crack up if I had to just straight up say some of the lines you have to say in there. They're pretty hilarious. So what
Well, we had
about?
to say them over and over anyways.
Good
They
point.
make us do it.
But you know, are there any in particular that you just cracked up trying to say?
cracked up? No, but I had to scream over and over again. A lot. A lot. I would get a script, and it would literally be written like this. Ah! Ah! Oh. Huh? Ah! Oh, here's a line. Grr! I don't remember laughing a lot because most of our laughing jags went off on things that had nothing to do with the show when we were recording.
I think the like one of the lines that like made me stop and actually laugh for a long time was just Bloaty saying Bloaty hate his life because he says it in a commercial to sell his pizza.
Yeah.
He says he hates his life, and they're just like, let's film that. This will sell pizza. Look at the guy crying.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, no. Okay, next question.
So, about how much time do you guys actually spend in the studio doing the recordings?
About 4 hours.
We're scheduled for 4, but we usually take 6 because only 30 minutes of it is actually recording the show.
We make good use of our time.
Yeah. I slaughtered a pig,
Started the whole world
slaughtering. Oh, if I only see that the pig was on me. Thank you. Good night, everybody. Good night. Where are we?
Where are we?
So, after your studio sessions, I imagine that your throats were really sore. How did you guys fix that? Or what did you drink or whatever to get rid of that?
I would usually say my throat is really sore and Jonah would punch me in the neck.
So we learned how to say it.
You think, it's like sometimes he would just be like a really overly violent Mo Howard. He goes, your neck's sore, eh? Hey, how does that feel?
Oh, but Mo.
Yeah. I drank about 6 bottles of water for every 11-minute episode. And then I would just pee in the booth. That part had nothing to do with the water.
He would start to drown after a while.
Yeah. I started to drown
In my very own juices.
What's the matter with you? There's kids in the audience.
Juice?
What's the matter with you, Pokemon?
Kids are fine with juice.
They're juice. It's just that you started marketing juice boxes from it. Yes,
With the character Mrs. Bittersworth.
Miss Bitters.
Miss Bitters?
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever watch the show and realize that you actually had a teacher that was like that?
No.
She was a demon.
I did have a teacher like that. I
See,
did.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I did have a teacher like that. I would say her name, but it would not do anything to her memory, which would not be kind, because it would not be kind to speak of her memory even though she's still alive.
She was voiced by Lucille Bliss, who was also Smurfette.
Yeah. So she would come in dressed like Smurfette, which was hot. Hot.
She was like
Smurfette.
107.
Yes, but she had the body of a 103-year-old. Really sweet. Hey, it's just a jump to the left, And then a step to the right. You put your hands on your hips and bring your knees in tight. But it's a velvet crust that really drives me insane. Let's do the time warp again. Well, I'm walking down the street. Sorry, it's Columbia as well. That's magenta.
What would your reactions be if I told you I made an image crossing over Rocky Horror and Invader Zim?
My impressions would be like this. What would my reactions be? Is that what you said? Like this. Those would be our reactions.
Especially when you found out that Frankenfurter would be Professor Membrane.
Frank, I made toast. I made Wheaties. All right, let's see it, right? What's up there? Do you have it? Oh, you're making it still.
Well, no, it's on my DeviantArt.
Oh, it's on your DeviantArt? Okay, what's your Deviant address? Tell everyone.
Oprophantomus. So it's
Say it again.
my username there is Oprophantomus.
Got it.
Okay.
We will go see that
With our eyes.
with our eyes. We'll look at it with our eyes this time.
All right. I have to admit, I was almost intrigued to come here myself, but amazing show. I have so many questions flowing in my head right now. I just need to choose which one it actually is. First of all, will we all be
How many questions do you have?
50? But
Start with 34.
All right. Will we all be getting complimentary adhesive medical strips?
Adhesive metal. Curse you, poop dog!
I don't know. I came in that some dog was lying to me that saying we're getting adhesive medical strips or something.
He's the geist.
We weren't allowed to say Band-Aids because that's a trademark. So we had they just cut it out.
There were a lot of
They
things
made
we
it
weren't
funny.
allowed to say, like we couldn't say underworld.
Underworld, yeah.
Couldn't say the underworld, so we had to say the place under the overworld.
Yeah.
I also couldn't believe they took out the organ episodes from the Netflix version of it.
Say again?
I also couldn't believe they took out the organs episode on Netflix. I don't know on DVDs.
I don't know why. What's the big deal? I mean, no one was killed. Really?
Yeah,
These
it's a
kids
lot
are
of
made healthier.
body parts and organs, but still.
Yeah. I mean, it was just harvesting organs for
Yeah.
gosh sakes. I mean,
What's
not
the big
me
deal?
personally.
These kids are super healthy now.
Yeah, I am a method actor.
Getting better. All right, well, and as for question number 34,
Yes. Which you were supposed to start with.
is there actually sawdust and chocolate?
Yeah, and then he throws it up every day. It's
I
my,
knew
one
it.
of
I
my
felt
favorite
strange
moments.
that one time.
Is there actually sawdust in chocolate?
Oh yeah, that's how they make it.
Except in Belgium chocolate. There's no sawdust.
No, those are horses.
Yeah, horses.
The first time you ever met Jaden Vasquez, what were your opinions of him? Like, how did that go?
I met him in 1995 at a comic convention before he was published. He came up to my wife and I because we were already doing comics, and he showed us a 2-page comic he did for a magazine called. The magazine was Carpe Noctem, and the comic was Anguish.
And it was just stick figures on a tic-tac-toe.
It made me laugh.
Yes.
So that's how I met him.
What was your impression?
My impression was, well, I thought he was all right, but then for some reason I gave him my phone number. He started calling me. And then he would call me every once in a while, like every 3 months, to tell me how awesome he was.
My impression was James Cagney. Thank you for the He's a good guy. I thought, whoa, where did you come from? I looked at him and said, well, look at you.
Ain't you cute?
Aren't you cute?
Put a little bow on him.
It's with little hands. He didn't like that.
No. He got used to it though.
And then he requested it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I didn't like it.
Then the curry in the shower, I've been this round already. Let's go.
And one more question. Aside from your own characters, who are your favorite characters in the show?
Aside from my favorite character, who's my favorite character on the show?
Aside from your own characters, who are your favorite characters in the show?
On the show, I would say I like Peter Griffin, Lois. I love Quagmire. But they're not on the show.
It's a big show.
I like Nuggums. I like baby Nuggums because he's got one of those. I love that. I like Gurr a lot. I like making fun of Dib because he would always do this thing. I like Gaz. And I liked Membrane.
I like the crew of the Resisting.
I like the tallest. I like the crew of the Resisting. I like the tallest. I liked pretty much everyone.
I like in Chickenfoot with the guy going, I want my slaw. You have your slaw, sir. I want my slaw. You have your slaw, sir.
See, I wouldn't know because I never watched Chickenfoot because Zim wasn't in it.
It's good. You should watch it.
Just like I never watched Game Slave.
It's a good episode. You should see it.
Oh, really? On to Netflix it.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Hi. Before I say my actual question...
Why is the voice? It's coming from over there. Every time they speak there, we go, oh, hi. Look, Rikki, you're on... Oh, you're on that side.
Before I ask my actual question, I just thought you should know you just said the name Jimmy Cagney, and I just heard a bunch of people behind me say, who? So, I thought you should know that.
Well, they'll be killed.
Those dirty rats.
They won't be allowed to leave.
They'll be forced to sit here and watch all the James Cagney movies from Warner Brothers. They're amazing.
But, as for my actual
Top of the world, Ma! Yes, go ahead.
You mentioned ADR earlier, and I just kind of wanted to know, was there a fair amount of room for improvisation in the show, or was it still pretty heavily scripted? Like, did
Just
you
in
take
the
any
ADR.
kind of wiggle room?
During our records, we did some improvising. We did some changing of lines and stuff. Like radioactive giant rubber pants
Oh, yeah, ants.
were supposed to be ants.
Yeah.
And I accidentally said radioactive giant rubber pants. So Jonah liked that.
Yeah.
I just announced we have about 10 minutes left.
Okay, we'll go now. We'll go. Sorry, we didn't mean to bother you. We'll go. We didn't mean to interrupt your convention. I like when Rikki cries. Cry harder. More. Okay.
So we all obviously really loved your work on Invader Zim from over a decade ago. So
I know you from over here. You're so people. How did you get over there?
I teleported. Anyways, so I was just wondering, are you guys going to be working on anything new in the near future, like cartoons? Or for you, Rikki, are you going to be working on any cartoons illustration-wise?
I'm always doing. I'm always writing books. I write novels with space in it. I like space. But Richard and I are actually going to do a sketch comedy podcast together.
And one of our great writers, Eric Trueheart from Invader Zim, is going to write with us, and we're also going to have the cast of Zim on to do sketches with us. And it's going to be fun. We'll do it ourselves.
Okay, so I was at my friend's house, and we were playing this game called Connect-A-Mons. And then this little fairy thing came on. It was like, it was your voice, like, that's Zim. Why is he that?
But it was a really sweet Zim.
Yeah, and I'm like, what?
I don't know if you noticed, but I kind of talk like Zim anyway.
Yeah.
But, I was like, hi, I'm Bumble. Right? Right?
Really friendly.
You know, you can have an entire conversation just going, right? Right?
He's also a fell imp in Warcraft.
I'm a fell imp, yes. In World of Warcraft. Who's a World of Warcrafter here? Who plays their warlock? Woo! No, this was designed to bring the warlock back to the game. I play the fell imp, and he's like a badass imp. He's like, let's make some fire. Yeah, so it's cool.
So you can kill him.
So you can kill him too.
You can kill Richard.
Kill him.
Thank you.
I think we have time for one more question.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I just want to say I'm a huge fan of all your work, and I was going to ask if you have any advice for anyone to get into the field of voice acting or fecal sculpting.
Yes. Fecal sculpting takes, you gotta really push for your dreams. Second thing is, voiceover-wise, you want to take sketch comedy, improv classes, and acting classes first and foremost. Because everyone will often come up and say to us, hey, I do 100 different voices, but our characters never start with the voice. It always starts with the story and the playing pretend. So my advice to everyone is to take acting, sketch, improv classes. And then go to my voiceover website. If you really want to know, I teach workshops around the country and 6-week workshops, and I also coach. So you can go to richardhorvitzclasses@gmail.com or my website.
Thank you very much.
We have 5 minutes. Oh, suddenly we found 5 minutes. Who told you that, Mr. Dragon?
Yeah, who?
Mr. Dragon, where are you, Mr. Dragon Con?
So actually sort of
They're like the guys in the puppets in the balcony. Hey, this thing's kind of suck.
This actually follows up a little bit on the previous question.
Yes.
How did each of you develop the voice of your respective characters, especially Richard having to come in after Billy West, voicing him in the pilot?
Well, let me do revisionist history a little bit here. I was doing Angry Beavers at Nickelodeon. And I was actually approached to do Zim originally. But because I was still doing Daggett, they didn't want me doing both the voices at the same time. They thought they might be too close and people would confuse it. So I didn't do the job. And then Billy, who's a dear friend of mine, they brought in Billy, but Billy had revoiced somebody else. There was a couple other things went on. And so in this industry, we lose jobs and our friends come in and do them all the time.
We're always swiping each other's jobs.
Unless it's like some contract negotiation or something, then we don't do that. But, they're going to replace the voice, it's just part of the beast. But if you listen, even though I'm not credited in the pilot, recently they aired the never-before-seen pilot. Did anyone notice that it sounded like me and Billy? Like, oh, wait a minute. It's because it was. I had actually went in and dubbed Billy's voice in parts, but they left Billy in other parts.
Sometimes their sentences begin with Billy.
It would start with Billy and end with me.
Or vice versa.
So I didn't get credited on the pilot, but I actually did do half the pilot, and that's how that came to be. So, to answer your question, I don't know. Is that a follow-up? Did I answer it?
Sure.
What was your question?
Well, specifically, I was wondering, aside from...
Oh, how to create the character.
How did you two develop your voices?
I said, what would this character sound like if it screamed? I don't know. I just like to play, and I play big. Like when I was a kid, I played big. In animation, you hear all the time, we don't want anything over the top. That's like a buzzword. Nothing over the top, nothing cartoony.
That was different with this one.
That was different because the fact of the matter is that some of us, me personally, are animated by nature. We're like, that is our real, natural. Not everyone is like, soft. If it says Smuckers, it must be real. Not all of us talk that way. Real, conversational, natural. So I just play. Every time I get my chance, I say to myself, if this was really happening to me right now, this is how I would play.
You'd just be screaming.
I'd just be screaming. Like every morning when I wake up. Still here.
Thank you.
There's going to be on Yelp. We're going to be reviewed on Yelp, Rikki. Didn't really learn much about their work. Learned a lot about fecal sculpting.
Okay, this is the very last question now.
Oh!
Ever.
to Zim. Bring me the broom of the Wicked Witch of the West.
What was your least favorite episode you recorded and why?
Ooh, the ones I wasn't in were my least favorite episodes.
All the ones without Gurr.
All the ones without Gurr. Gosh, you know, of any show or of Invader Zim?
Of Invader Zim.
I don't have one. Have I broken your tiny heart? As Rikki, he'll try.
The Whitney.
You didn't like the Whitney?
I just pulled one out. I don't know.
You didn't like the Whitney?
It was wet.
Oh, why?
It had water in it.
Yeah, and then there was water on
There was
Zim
nobody
all the
eating
time.
curry.
Yeah, that wasn't consistent.
There was nobody eating curry.
That was a great question. You have another one? You have another question? No? Because we're going to have to go now, so this is...
You ended it.
Tell Mr. Dragon Con. We will sit here and wait for a question, or we will not. We are Occupy Dragon Con. We've already got the unbathed part down. We haven't bathed this. We're in our tents.
Can't make us leave.
These tents really suck. We should have thought about this before we tried to occupy.
I'm hungry.
I thought you said occupado.
I thought you said octopi.
Are we done?
Yes. I have no mic. They took a mic.
Time to go? Free to go! Everybody, we're over at the Hilton. Come see us in the Walk of Fame. Thank you, everyone!